Linux is just a kernel, but I want to make use of this kernel in my system so that I want to make the complete Linux installation. So I want to make a complete Linux installation within a computer. So to make a complete Linux installation, that means I want to make a complete Linux system. Linux system in the sense I want to make Linux as an operating system now. But as per the discussion, we said that Linux is only freely distributed implementation of Unix-like kernel. That means it is a purely, we can say it is a kernel. It is not an operating system. It is a kernel. But I want to make it as an operating system. So in order to make it as an operating system, I need to obtain some sources for the kernel, and we need to compile it and we need to install it on a machine. That means we need to obtain sources for the kernel to compile and to install it on a machine. Later, we can obtain the sources of other freely distributed software programs. So here I am giving a small example. So after installing Windows operating system into your machine, you're trying to install your game, or you're trying to install your Turbo C editor, or you're trying to install your Java, or you're trying to install some other application that you want on the top of the operating system. Am I right? In the same way, after obtaining the sources for compiling and installing a kernel onto a machine, then after that we need to obtain some freely distributed software programs which are to be required by the user so that we can make a complete Linux installation. So I need to obtain other free distributed software programs which are need to be compiled and installed on the machine so that I can make a free complete Linux installation. So this entire process, the process here in the sense, obtaining the sources for the kernel to compile and install it on the machine, and to obtain other freely distributed software programs to make a complete Linux installation. This entire process is nothing but the Linux system. Creating Linux system from source code is a major undertaking because I need to develop the Linux system. That means I need to develop the complete Linux operating system from the source code of the kernel and from the source code of other application programs which are freely distributed or freely contributed. I want to make all these source codes to be put together into one file or one application. So creating the Linux system from source code is a major undertaking, so that many people may put all these together, all the source codes together into a ready to install distributions, uh, which may be sometimes called as a flavor. That means it's a ready to install distribution in the sense. So I have some executable files. I can just double click on the icon and I can install the application. Likewise, we have a different sources of we have a different ways to install the Linux system into your machine. So here, most of the times, many people are going to use this Linux ready to install distributions. So which is also called as a flavor. That means the ready to install distribution is also called as a flavor. Flavor in the sense, don't worry about the flavor like it is it may be a coffee or tea something. But here the flavors are nothing but the Windows Home. If you observe in case of Windows platform, we have Windows Home, Windows Professional, some kind of versions of Windows operating system. Likewise, we have some kind of versions of Linux operating systems. Nothing but those are the flavors which is ready to install distributions. So these flavors may comes in different ways. One is downloadable from the internet. That means we can download the operating system software from the internet. I think we can download the operating system software from gnu.org or some other websites where the flavors are available. Then we may also use CD-ROMs, which is one of the oldest technique, where Windows XP, Windows 98, etc. Those kind of operating systems are available in CD-ROMs. But nowadays, the Windows 10 or Windows 7, etc., there may be given. Okay, Windows 7 is already stopped by Microsoft in February. So Windows 10, it is available in DVDs nowadays. So it is one of the technique where we can put the ready to install distributions into the DVDs. That means we can install the operating system, or we can create a Linux system. That means Linux system in the sense I want to create I want to work with my machine by installing the Linux system. So to install the Linux system, I can make use of the source code of the kernel, or to make use of the source code of other freely distributed application programs. So to use those things, we need to place all the source codes into ready to install distribution, and we can use it. So we have different types of ready to install distributions like downloadable content or CD-ROMs or DVDs. However, whatever the flavors that we have, that means whatever the type of ways that we can make use of the Linux system, it may not only contains a kernel. Like I said, it may not only contain a kernel, it may also contain some other distributed programs. So, like many other programming tools like LibreOffice, or some other painting tools, or some other graphic, some other gaming tools, or media tools, like audio player or video player tools, etc. And we have some other utilities like calculators, etc. So we have so many number of other application programs that we want to install it on a machine, so that this ready to install distribution not only contains the kernel source code, it may also contain the many other application programming tools and utilities, their source code. Okay, so that is about the Linux distribution here. So I'm going to show the x86 processors Linux distributions, the well-known distributions of x86 processors, nothing but 8086 processors. So earlier, in case of x86 processors, we have 32-bit operating system. So we need to remember one thing, that we have two different types of applications that we can identify in the website or in the internet. There is x86 and x64. x86 is in the sense it represents the 32-bit architecture. But in case of x64, it supports both 32-bit as well as a 64-bit architecture. That means more amount of memory is required. In case of 32-bit, you may require 1 GB of RAM. But in case of 64-bit, we may require 2 GB of RAM minimum. I'm saying that it is a minimum amount of memory that is required. If it is 32-bit, we need 1 GB. If it is 64-bit, we need 2 GB of RAM. Okay. So while you are downloading any application into your machine, when you're using Windows platform or Linux platform, you have to make sure that the configuration is 32-bit or 64-bit. If it is 32-bit, you have to download only 32-bit applications. If it is 64-bit, you can download both 32-bit or as well as 64-bit. Whatever the application that you want, you can install it on 64-bit operating systems. But if your configurations are, that means if your operating system configuration is 32-bit, then you can install only 32-bit applications only. So you cannot install 64-bit application. So okay, now I am going to show some kind of well-known distribution, that is a Red Hat Enterprise Linux. That is one kind of well-known distribution that we have. You can even download the Red Hat Enterprise Linux for client side into your machine, and we can download it. Okay, then we can download Fedora and SUSE Linux and free open SUSE Linux. This is another flavor. Then Ubuntu, then Slackware, then Zen2, then Debian GNU or Debian Linux. So these are all the different types of Linux well-known distributions that we have. I think we in our labs, if you observe, we observed Ubuntu, and we have a Red Hat Enterprise Linux Server Edition that is available for working with Linux PuTTY in our lab. I think we are using Linux PuTTY in our lab. The Linux PuTTY is connected or communicated with the Red Hat Enterprise Linux server. Okay. So, and even if you want, we can use Fedora, or we can use Slackware or Zen2, whatever it is. We have so many other well-known distributions that we have. So now I'm going to show a small URL where we can see the list of various well-known, other than well-known distributions. We have so many number of Linux distributions. So that is available in this URL. I think you can see the URL name. So is it visible for you? DistroWatch. That is a URL name. That is a distrowatch.com. Distrowatch.com. So just a few seconds, I will open the browser now. So this is the URL, that is the distrowatch.com. So that is the URL. Okay. So within this web page, we can see the new filtering, the new distribution releases. That is a 17.8 today. Sorry, yesterday there was a new release, that is a Parrot 4.10. Okay, so it contains a description about this particular thing. Likewise, we have different types of distributions, like distribution release Linux XFX 10.5. Likewise, we have so many things. And if you see the right hand side here, it is a page hit ranking. Here, these many users have downloaded this MX Linux. Likewise, okay. So in the left hand side, if you observe, we have the latest distributions, that is Picom systems 6.1.0, then Parrot, then Linux FUX. So if you observe here, it is the date of the year, that is 17th August 2020. They have released 2. Then 16th August they have released 2. Likewise, we have within August itself, we have so many number of releases here. Okay, so we can look into this particular website and we can download the particular distribution into your system, into your machine, and we can install it. Okay, so here if you observe, we have a Linux FX, then Ubuntu. So this is the Ubuntu. So here we have Ubuntu 16.04.17 and 18.04.5. Then similarly KE Linux, then Phoenix, then Ghost BSD. Here BSD is nothing but Berkeley software distribution. We have some history behind the BSD. Okay. Then likewise we have so many other operating systems that we have. Okay. So earlier it was Ubuntu 20.4.1. Likewise we have different types of versions here, different types of releases. So these are the well-known distributions of Linux, like Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Fedora. Even if we want, we can make a dual boot of the operating systems of Windows as well as Linux. But we need to be cautious while we are installing the or while we are maintaining the dual boot. So it may a little bit drag down the performance of the system. So we need to write some programs in Linux environment. How to write programming in Linux environment. So before going to see that, I have a small question. So many people think that programming Linux means using C. So most of the people are thinking that Linux programming is only done with the help of C. Is it true or false? Okay, it is true. Based on our discussion, it is true. Can you tell me what is the reason why it is true? So, okay. So the answer is Unix was written in C. So the answer is Unix was written in C. So that is the reason why most of the people think that programming Linux means using C. So that's why it is we are saying that it is true. But whether Unix is entirely written in C, whether the Unix operating system was entirely written in C, that means whether all the application programs are entirely written in C. Is it so? I think it is not. Am I right? So even in case of Windows platform also, if you observe, it is not written entirely in a single programming language. It is not possible. Okay. So we need different types of application programming languages. We need to write it. So Unix was written in C, but not the entire Unix operating system was written in C. And majority of the applications in Unix was written in C. So that is the reason why the people are thinking that programming Linux means we need to use C. That means the developers of the Linux system use it C. That is a de facto that the people are thinking. Okay. And we have one more question. For Linux programmers or for Unix programmers, is C is the only programming language available to develop the Linux system? The answer is no. So we don't have C as the only programming language to develop the Linux system. We have some other programming languages that we can use for developing the Linux systems. So already we have observed C is one of the programming languages that we are using to develop the Linux system. Other than C, we can use C++, then Objective-C, Pascal, Python, PHP, then Fortran, Java, all these other programming languages. And we also have some scripting languages like PHP, Ruby, PostScript, then JavaScript, etc. There are different types of, not only the programming language, we are having different types of languages. We have different types of languages, like it may be a programming language, or it may be a scripting language, or it may be a different types of language, whatever it is. It may be shell programming or whatever it is. We are using different types of programming languages in order to make the Linux system effective, so that we can create or develop different types of application programs for the Linux system. Okay, so some of these are some of the languages that I have specified here are used in developing the Linux system, like Ada, then C, C++, Eiffel, Fortran, Icon, Java, etc. That we are going to use in developing the Linux program, Linux system, very effective Linux environment. Okay. Now the next topic here is Linux programs. So normally, when the term application is considered, I can say I have two different types of applications that I have. So one is executable applications, another one is script applications. So that is in case of Linux programs. That means when Linux applications are considered, so we can represent the Linux applications by a special type of files. One is executable files, another one is scriptable files, scripts. Okay. So normally the executable files are the programs that can run directly on the machine. Can you agree? I think executable files are the programs which will run directly by the computer. That means they correspond to some kind of, I'm going to show an example that is .exe, that is executable file in case of Windows. So which will run directly by the computer machine. Okay. So another one is scripts. So it cannot be run directly by the machine, but instead it is a collection of instructions for another program to run or for an interpreter to follow. Okay, that means I want to give some kind of instructions to another program what it has to do. Example, in the previous slide I have created a hyperlink. I am insisting I am insisting the PPT to open the Mozilla Firefox or to open some kind of browser. So that is the instruction that is specified in the script. That means the script is a collection of instructions for another program or an interpreter to follow what it has to do. So this corresponds to, that means the scripts in case of Windows, it is example for scripts in case of Windows operating system is batch file or command file. There is a batch, BAT means batch file. .bat means it is a batch file, BATCH, batch file. Or we can say command file. So these are the two different types of file extensions that are used in Windows in order to make the scripts to be executable. Okay, but in case of Linux, there is a difference with Windows operating system, that in case of Linux, we are not going to provide some specific file name for executables and specific file names for scripts. There is no certain rule here in case of Linux program. In case of Windows operating system, we have certain rule that for executable file, we are going to specify a file name called setup. If you observe any application that you are going to download in Windows operating system, most of the times you can identify this application with the .exe extension. The file name is setup, SETUP. I think you might come across this kind of file name notation in case of Windows operating system when you download any application. Am I right? Even no answer. I think you have downloaded so many number of games or some kind of video players or audio players or whatever it is. You have downloaded some kind of stuff, no? So whatever the application that you have downloaded, so the application may be most of the times I'm not saying that for every application you may identify the name as setup.exe. For most of the applications, we can identify that the file name is setup.exe. That is a rule in case of Windows operating system to identify that it is an executable file. Similarly, in case of scripts also, we have certain rules to maintain the script names with .bat or .cmd extension. But in case of Linux, there is no such kind of requirement. It doesn't require any executable files or scripts to have a specific file name or a specific extension whatsoever it may be. So that means in case of Windows operating system, if I want to create any file without any extension, it will not create the file. It shows an error. But in case of Linux, if I create any file without providing any extension, by default, the Linux system will create a file. Okay. So if you want to create a C file, we can create it with .c. Without .c also, we can create a C file. But when I want to compile the C file, there should be .c extension file name that the compiler will understand. I think we have come across the compilers like GCC, GC++, etc. in the previous GNU project distribution examples. Okay, GNU project examples we have observed in the previous one. There, the GCC is a compiler, C compiler, which is used to compile a C program. It must and should identify the file name with .c extension. Otherwise, it is unable to compile a C program. In that case, we are going to use .c. Anyhow, without providing any extension, we can also create a file name in case of Linux, which is not an error. So that is one of the flexibility in case of Linux programs. And in case of Linux, we can also replace the scripts with the compiled programs. Okay, but anyhow, in fact, at the user level, if you observe, there is no difference in between those two. That means replacing scripts with compiled programs or compiled programs are replaced with scripts. There is no much difference in between the two at the user level. But in the system level, there may be a difference, but at the user level, there is no difference in between those two. Because the background task, how it is happening, the user doesn't know. Okay,